What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today I'm going to talk about my latest TV series obsession, Wolf Like Me. Do you ever watch something that's so good that you get mad at yourself for not watching it sooner? Because that's exactly how I felt after watching Wolf Like Me. In this video, I'm gonna dive into the show, explain why I love it so much, and hopefully convince you to watch it if you haven't already. Before we get into all the details, if you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like werewolves, horror movies, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. Wolf Like Me premiered in 2022 and stars Josh Gad and Isla Fisher. The series follows Gary, played by Josh Gad, who lives in Australia with his 11-year-old daughter Emma as they're still recovering from the loss of Emma's mother. And after a pretty insane car wreck, they meet Mary, played by Isla Fisher, who is this kind of quirky but lovable woman who is very isolated and seems to have a lot of emotional baggage herself. Naturally, sparks fly between Gary and Mary, but it's not so easy for them to get together since there's some skeletons in the closet, or werewolves in the basement. That's right, Mary is a werewolf. I remember the first time I saw the trailer for this show, and I was so excited because there was a chance for a really cool werewolf series, which is something we really don't get much of. Now, there are some out there, but most of them are, well, terrible, although there are some exceptions to that rule. We do get a lot of shows that feature a werewolf, but very few that focus solely on a werewolf that's main character is a werewolf. And on top of that, the two main actors in this series are really talented actors, so there was a lot of excitement when I first heard about this show. However, you never see the werewolf in the trailer. And given the way werewolves are portrayed in modern media, I just assumed that this would be terrible. My two initial thoughts upon seeing the trailer was, okay, it's gonna be some really bad CGI werewolf, or maybe she's not really a werewolf at all and we're using metaphors. Maybe she's got clinical lycanthropy. You know, I just didn't have a lot of faith that this was gonna be like a legit werewolf series. What can I say? I'm a bit of a glass half empty kind of gal. And because of my initial hesitation, I kind of just forgot about the show. And it didn't help that it was a show that literally, saw the trailer a couple times and then it just seemed to poof. No one talked about it. Silence. Needless to say, I never watched it until October 28th of 2023. And when I say I watched it, I binged the entire series that consists of 2 seasons in one night, which is something I literally never do. I'm not a binger. Even if it's something that I absolutely love, I just can't do it. I start to get bored after a couple hours, and then I will literally sit there and start to hate this thing that I love. But this show is the exception. First and foremost, the show has a beautiful cast that plays out how emotional baggage can wear us down and really isolate us from the world. It really focuses on our fear of being open to others. If I show my true self and reveal my skeletons in the closet, werewolves in the basement, will people still love me? We are diving into some really interesting themes that everyone experiences. The series creator, Abe Forsyth, who also experienced single fatherhood, came up with this idea when he was meeting a new person, and it just so happened to be a full moon, and he couldn't help but think, what would I do if this person was a werewolf? And I love that. This concept is such a fun way to navigate the worries and the fears of dating and meeting new people as a single parent. Incorporating the idea of the werewolf takes the stakes even higher, but in a really ridiculous but fun sort of way. And that's what I really enjoy about this show. It's covering some really deep topics, but in a comedic and lighthearted way, which to me that's how I deal with hard times and deep topics. I gotta laugh a little bit. Both of the main actors, Josh Gad and Isla Fisher, I like them in other projects, But the chemistry between these two, it is just, I feel it. I'm there. I'm invested. This show is easily some of both of their best work. Another really fun thing about the show is the use of music to tell the story. The importance of music to tell Mary's story is established in season 1, but that is pushed even farther in the show's second season. One of the most important songs in the series is Queens of the Stone Age Fortress, with lyrics like, "Your heart is a fortress, you keep your feelings locked away. Is it easier? Does it make you feel safe? You wander through the darkness of wilderness behind your eyes. I know you're afraid, but you gotta move on." Now, I want to keep this video pretty spoiler free. I don't want to really get into too many of the details here, but just with those lyrics, you can see how this perfectly works for telling a werewolf story. While this is the most important song of the series, there's a lot of other fantastic songs that really help push the narrative forward. We get things like Here Comes the Sun from the Beatles, and the great song Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed everything about this dark rom-com, but the thing that impressed me the most was the use of a practical werewolf. Now, I'm not sure what the budget was for this show, but I was shocked to see this. Now, most big budget projects that have werewolves are pretty lazy and will use CGI, and you often don't see creative or practical werewolves unless it's a smaller scale B-movie passion project. Now, the werewolf design itself is very reminiscent of an American Werewolf in London, as the werewolf walks on all fours, but it also does appear to be something a little bit more than just a wolf. Now, if you've watched any of my recent werewolf design videos, you know that this particular design is not my favorite. Maybe it's the fact that, I wasn't really expecting something like this from this series, but I really do love this design. I love that they incorporate fun details into the werewolf as well, like the werewolf has red hair because the character of Mary has red hair. The werewolf was created by Odd Studio, a multi-award-winning company who does prosthetic makeup, creature effects, animatronics, special effects, and props. You've probably seen their work before in Evil Dead Rise, Thor Love and Thunder, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Invisible Man, the 2020 remake, among many other projects. Now, the first season kind of teases the werewolf. You sit through 6 episodes of the show wondering if you're ever gonna see the dang thing. But I promise you, when that reveal happens, it is 100% worth it. I mean, I was kind of sweating for a moment. I was like, okay, here I am. I'm gonna watch the show. I'm putting my faith in the show. And then I'm like, okay, 6 episodes in, we're just talking about it. It's not a werewolf. I've been tricked. I wasn't tricked. I was not tricked. And it was just everything about the reveal. It's not just the design, it's the setting, the emotion, the tension. I mean, this show is so well-rounded, it is insane. The series only has 2 seasons right now, and the second season really explores much deeper themes, and you get to see more of the werewolf. Now again, I don't want to spoil too much here because this is a relatively new show, and I want people to watch this. I want you to experience this emotional roller coaster for yourself, but season 2 really kicks it up a notch. Not only does it open with a banger of a scene, I mean just executed so beautifully, but it also leaves you on a very insane cliffhanger, and I cannot wait to see where the show goes from here. The second season premiered October 19th of 2023, and as of right now, we really haven't heard anything in regards to renewal for a 3rd season. I don't know a whole lot of other people that have seen the show, and unfortunately, it's just one of those shows that's not talked about. I feel like there's so many shows that get overhyped and everybody talks about, and this one just kind of got swept under the rug, and I truly don't understand why. I mean, clearly there were trailers, there was marketing for it, maybe not as heavily as some other shows that already kind of have an established character or franchise. To me, this is something that really stands out amongst the current string of shows that are out right now. I feel like we have fatigue, whether it's, Marvel has come out with its millionth thing that nobody cares about anymore, or we're just getting remakes and reboots and prequels of things, and it's getting boring. And here we have something that truly is bringing something new and fresh, and no one's talking about it. The show has all the American Werewolf in London vibes that we've been waiting for. Who doesn't love a horror comedy? I mean, in my opinion, it's the best genre. I truly believe if you're an American Werewolf in London fan, you're going to love this series. This is a beautifully written story that blends heartwarming moments, lovable characters, monsters, and mystery, and I need more. Seriously, again, I'm mad at myself for not watching this sooner, because this show has everything that I've been complaining that I haven't seen in TV and in movies. And here it was just sitting there for me. And all it took was, you know, being sick during Halloween for me to finally watch it. So I guess I can say thanks to COVID for that. In all seriousness, this show is exactly what my werewolf-loving heart needed during a Halloween season where I was too sick to actually enjoy the festivities. Before I watched this, I was planning my next video to be a third part in my werewolf design rating videos, but when I watched this series, I knew I had to do a video solely focused on this. I instantly fell in love with this series and knew that I had to spread the gospel of Wolf Like Me. So if y'all haven't checked this series out, I highly recommend that you do. Have y'all watched this series yet? Let me know in the comments. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so when new videos hit the channel, you'll be notified. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later!